Okay, here's a little bit about Oh Holy Night for ukulele. I put it in the key of G. Let's go over the chords real quick. They're on the chart for you, but here's your G. Here's your C. Gotta love that one. Get my sleeve out of the way here. D7 comes up a lot. You probably could use, like if you're doing a G, you probably just use these two fingers and hop over. Usually in D7, I prefer these two fingers. I think it's how I wrote it in the chart, but it's just too irresistible not to do that, because if you use these two fingers, your first and second, then G to D7 is a really easy change. B minor is kind of an animal. Ideally it would be this, where your first finger is laying flat over all three of those. Until you can do that, I would do it almost like a D. You know how D is these three? Well, these four, but these three fingers. If you just move all three of these down a string, and just whatever you do, do not strum that string. So if you can strum just those three, that'd be a nice B minor for you. A little secret I do, instead of not trying to strum, how do I say that? Instead of trying to not strum this string, I don't know if your fingers are big enough, my middle finger will just kind of touch that string. So my middle finger is doing two jobs. It's playing its note on the third string second, but it's also touching this string enough to mute it. So then I can strum this string. You can kind of hear it in there, but it'll pass. So that'd be your B minor. F sharp major is kind of hard, kind of not. It's really just a G with everything slid down a half step. But again, you really don't want to strum that string, because listen. Woohoo! Yeah, I want to keep that string out. Again, you might be able to do the same trick. Your fingers may not be wide enough to do that. But that's what I usually would do, is I would have that first finger now be the one that does two jobs. It's playing the third string first, but it's bumping against the first string. I'm not touching it from the top because I'm not pushing it. I'm bumping into it from the side. And so I can strum freely with my right hand. You'll see in that song, I'm sure I'll hesitate a little bit too. It's kind of challenging. We already talked about D7 a little bit. And then from that point on, D7, G, G, D7, G. Then there's an E minor, B minor part. It's going to be the fall on your knees. Fall on your knees. Then A minor. That's new to the song, but I don't think it's new to you. Oh, hear the angel voices. And at that point, you're home free, because then it's just G's, D7s, and C's. Okay, let me try the whole song. Almost in tune, that'll work. Here we go. And I'm going to do just the two strums. So I'm going to strum every time I see a chord name, and I'm going to strum every time I see a chord slash, I guess you call it a strum line. Oh, holy night, the stars are brightly shining. It is the night of the dear Savior's birth. Long lay the world in sin and error pining, till He appeared and the soul felt its worth. That's probably the hardest part. A thrill of hope, the weary soul rejoices, for yonder breaks a new and glorious morn. Fall on your knees, oh, hear the angel voices. Oh, night divine, oh, night when Christ was born. Oh, night, oh, holy night, oh, night divine. And from that point, you could do the other verses if you want. Last thing I'll show you is if you want to do a fancier strum, the next fancier I would do is just double time it. So instead of strumming once per chord name and once per strum line, you could do 3 of each. Oh, holy night. So it's kind of got a 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3 kind of a feel. Let me just do the first line of that. 1, 2, 3, slowly and play. Oh, holy night, the stars are brightly shining. It is the night of the dear Savior's birth. If you want, we could do a really cool, like, Christmas 80s intro. Maybe not. So I hope that helps. It's a fun song to play. The hardest part is the B minor to the F sharp major. It's really supposed to be F sharp 7, but that was kind of evil in a different way. So you could make those F sharp majors F sharp 7s, but I kind of thought this F sharp was a little friendlier. Again, it's just G, but because everything moves down a fret, you don't want to strum that low string. You might even consider cutting it off. Well, I wouldn't do that. You're going to need it later in the song. Enjoy!